Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today we get to take a look at the 2025 BMW M4. Huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this sports car for me today. Take a look at their website, that link is down in the description. This M4 is finished off in Tanzanite blue metallic. Its MSRP is just over $93,000. Now this is powered by the 3-liter twin-turbo inline-6. This model is paired to the 6-speed manual transmission, and it pumps out 473 horsepower, 406 pound-feet of torque. It is rear-wheel drive, weighs in around 3,800 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in just over 4 seconds. Top speed is 155 miles an hour. However, if you go with the M driver's package, that is increased to 180 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 15.6 gallons. You'll expect to see around 16 miles per gallon in the city, 22 out on the highway, and it also has a wheelbase of 112.5 inches. Its overall length is 189. It has a width of 75.5, a height of 55.1, and its ground clearance measures in at 4.8 inches. Now, as we take a look at the exterior styling, this has a dark housing for the headlight housings, which are all LED, of course, which give it a great look. And this model also has the exterior carbon fiber package. So you'll notice that the large inlets on both sides of the kidney grille are finished off in carbon fiber, where this also has parking sensors and a lot of cutouts in that grille to provide additional cooling. There's also some really nice angular lines in the lower section to give it a great look. And then the hood bulges too match nicely with the top of that grille. You'll notice that the lines go all the way to the base of the hood there just to tie it in very nicely. Now this model also has a staggered setup for the wheels. You'll notice the blue M Sport brake calipers and then a two-tone design for those wheels. Now there's also gloss black in the lower section of the bumper, and it works its way to the side skirts. This also has carbon fiber for the mirror caps, which do feature a turn signal, and then gloss black for the base of that, which also wraps around the window trim. And then this also has the carbon fiber roof, which is a great accent. And with this coupe design, I think it has a great look. Some nice subtle lines coming off of the M4 badge, just behind that front tire, going all the way to the rear here, where this has even more carbon fiber for the trunk mounted spoiler. There's a backup camera, LEDs for all of the lighting. There's parking sensors down below. You'll notice more gloss black in the lower section of the bumper, and it wraps around all of the carbon fiber for the diffuser, where this also has the quad tip dual exhaust. Now, working our way to the cargo space, you can use the button on the key fob or the one up underneath, where this has a power trunk. Now you have a good bit of space. This could be a daily driver where you can place in several items. There's no storage or spare underneath the floor, but you still get a good bit of space. And then you can also fold down the back seats. So that way, if you have some longer items, again, making this a very practical coupe. And then you have two buttons up top where you can close that trunk or lock the vehicle too. Now working our way to the driver's side, this is paired with the Calamami orange interior, which gives it a great look. There's also Harman Kardon for the audio. You have lock and unlock, memory seating adjustments, your window controls, power folding side mirrors, and then a trunk release and additional storage. And then a very nice sporty design for these seats, which have a mix of leather and Alcantara. They are automatic with the one manual exception for the leg support there. Now, in order to hop into the back seats, you have that manual release, and then from there, the seat is going to work its way forwards. So at 5'10", I can hop into the back where you'll have plenty of legroom. There's also vents in the middle. You get a little bit of storage along with an armrest and then some large windows. And I am just barely touching the headliner. So honestly, I could ride around town. I could be in the back seat here. You can use these for people or for additional space. And then you can also fold down this middle section here if you want to use it as an armrest or you want to gain access to the trunk space there. And then you can easily hop out, and then that seat will go back into the position it was in. Now you do have a small door sill, but you can easily step over that. And then we're greeted with the solid leather steering wheel. It's a flat bottom design. There's more carbon fiber accents surrounding all of it. But let's start this up now. With my foot on the brake and the clutch, we can bring this to life. And coming back to the digital gauge cluster now, on the left side there's miles per hour along with your fuel. Right side you can see what gear the vehicle is in along with some temperatures and the tach. Now on the left side of the steering wheel, there's all of your cruise control settings. There's M1 and M2. Then you have volume tuning, Bluetooth, and voice commands. And then you can use this center button to go through some of the content offered in this screen. You have your setup along with some engine vitals. You can look at your tires. You have a sport display, a G-force meter, and then your audio that you can look at. And then you can even get into the head-up display where you have a few different settings depending on the information that you would like to view. Now on this left side, you get a little bit of storage along with the headlight adjustments, one air vent, and then with the infotainment system, you have a lot more to go through. Now with all these widgets on the home screen, you can actually customize these depending on what you would like to see and pull up. And then the lower section is fixed. So you can easily get into your phone. You can get into all of these apps like Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, your climate adjustments, your interior lighting, seat comfort. You have quite a lot that you can go through. You can get back to home, which I just showed, and you have all of your climate adjustments too. So you can easily go through that. You can pull up the map for the navigation settings and then easily get into audio. Now this also has heated and ventilated seats along with a heated steering wheel, and your temperature adjustments are on both sides. Now you get more carbon fiber underneath that along with some air vents and ambient lighting. You have power, volume, and tuning along with defrosters, and then there's a little bit of storage with cup holders and auxiliaries underneath the carbon fiber lid. And with the manual transmission, simply just push it to the left and forwards. This model just has the backup camera, so you have that along with the sensors. And then you have the rest of the 6 gears that you can easily go through. Now there's parking sensors along with the engine start-stop feature. And when you go into setup, this is how you can configure M1 and M2. So you can have these pre-programmed basically and ready to go for all of these different settings depending on how you would like to drive the vehicle. Now you can also go another step further with M mode and put it into sport mode. So that is going to give you a more performance style gauge cluster along with the head-up display. So it's going to show you your RPM, miles per hour, and the speed limit sign. And then you can see what gear you're in front and center as well, which is very helpful. Now there's also an exhaust note button. You have the e-brake with your traction control, and then all of the shortcuts for that screen. So you don't have to use it as a touchscreen system. You can easily go through it that way. Now you get wireless charging along with some auxiliaries in the center there, and then you have plenty of storage in the glove box. There's also garage door buttons up top and then dome lights up in the middle. And then here's a look at visibility. You have large windows and small pillars. So you have a lot of glass to be able to see around this coupe. As we set up behind the wheel now for the manual M4, I have everything in Sport Plus. I have it in second gear. We'll give it a minor acceleration. It definitely sounds good too. Seems very easy to shift. I know there's been a big, I guess, concern with both the M2 and the M4 as far as their shifter feels. I've been able to drive the M2 and it's been a little bit of time, but honestly, I feel like this is a better shifter. I would really have to drive them back to back to be able to see, but the clutch pedal is super light as well. And I feel like it's definitely a fun manual to use. I have been able to drive the manual M2, but again, it has been quite some time. You almost feel like you are in the same exact vehicle, especially with the manual and the M4. It does have the same power as the manual M2. And of course, you can go with the M4 competition if you want to get a little bit more power. So it just depends on if you want that all-wheel drive system or you want the manual and you want rear-wheel drive in your coupe. But this is a fun vehicle to drive. It's very luxury focused, but you are getting an incredibly performance-oriented vehicle at the same time. The suspension seems to be pretty good in Sport Plus. I am used to a stiffer suspension, so we'll put it into comfort mode now, where it does get a little bit softer. And of course, you can shut that exhaust off too. So it's really a well-rounded, everyday type of coupe that's going to give you practicality, and it's going to give you a fun, luxury-focused vehicle at the same time. So if we go into second gear again, it definitely has a good bit of power to it, and obviously it has a lot more potential than what I'm doing today in it. But just in terms of its driving, I get to drive a lot of the M4s, M2s. I have a lot of seat time behind the wheel of these coupes, and I think they're definitely great driving vehicles. Seating position is in a really good spot. This model also has the stitching on the seatbelts too, which is an option that I forgot to mention. So we have a relatively basic M4 here with just a few technology features. And of course, you can add a lot more to it if you'd like, and then step up to the competition if you want even more options as well as that additional power. But it seems like a very nice vehicle to drive. My concern is if you go with the manual M4, you could save some money and get a manual M2 instead, because you have the same power, almost the same vehicle. So it's very interesting how BMW has kind of competed with themselves with the M2 versus the M4. I do have a comparison video going up between both of the manuals, so check that out for more of the details between basically how they are the exact same car, just with a different badge. And I'm still in sport mode, second gear. Here we go. And just a mild acceleration, we're up to speed. And again, the manual transmission in this feels very nice. I like the feedback that you get when you go into the next gear. Clutch pedal is super light as well. So this would make for a great luxury-focused manual coupe that you can daily drive. And this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for the M4. Definitely a great place to be. We have a lot of premium feeling materials, and you have a practical vehicle where you can put in a few other passengers, maybe put a car seat in the back if you're looking for a practical vehicle, and those aspects, just depending on where you are in life and what you're looking to get out of your vehicle, it makes it a fun, practical daily driver. So I really like that aspect to it. It can be comfortable and quiet when you want, so you can put everything in the efficiency mode and just kind of drive a normal vehicle for the meantime. And then when you're ready, push a few buttons, it gets much stiffer, and you just have a vehicle that you can take to the tracks and mountain roads, just really have a great drive. It's also going to handle very well based on the BMWs that we have had in the past and taking them to the mountains and doing some performance style driving. So I have no doubts that this is going to be a very fun performance vehicle. Also does a good job at stopping too, and the turning radius is going to be pretty good as well. So for tighter situations, parking lots, things like that, it is going to be very easy to maneuver. The steering is a bit tight there, but we were able to make that work. And we'll give it another acceleration from second gear here. Definitely a nice vehicle, something that I would recommend. Very cool to be able to finally check out the manual transmission. I feel like they are much harder to find than the competition models. So definitely take a look at one if you're in the market for a manual coupe that kind of gives you everything to drive it every day. That is going to wrap it up for the 2025 BMW M4. Once again, a huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this for me today. Take a look at their website, give this video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.